Happy New Year, guys. So I quickly want to give a comprehensive analysis on volatility 10 index. I recently gave a trade call on this pair, I think 2 days ago, and here I am making an analysis on why I gave that trade call and why you should still be considering buying this pair in the next couple of days and most likely a week or so. If you are not already following me on Instagram, please do that as I give my personal analysis, my personal views on there, and every now and then I give trade calls, and few times I give signals and what you should look out for. So do so. Quickly go follow me on Instagram so you can take advantage of my analysis in confluence with your own analysis and make some money off the market. So this is my Instagram handle, beat the marker, BEATTHEMARKER. Quickly go over and follow me on Instagram. As expected, I will be doing a top-down analysis on this pair. And guys, take note, if you are still taking your trade decisions solely on one time frame alone, you're doing the wrong thing. You want to look at the market from a multi-time frame and from a multi-time frame perspective. Yeah, you want to allow your decisions be based on different time frames. So you want to consider 2 theory time frames, and then as much as possible you want each and every one of them to be in confluence, to be saying the same thing, and then you use up that information from these multi-time frames to make your trade decisions. And if you've been following my recent videos on YouTube, you would have heard me say once you want to know the direction of the market, where is the market headed for in the coming month, in the next 1 month, in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of days, you want to consider the monthly, the weekly, and the daily time frame for that. The monthly, the weekly, and daily time frame gives you information on the direction of the market. As much as possible, you want these 30 time frames to be in confluence, to be saying the same thing. And then what you then do is you go over to your 4 hours time frame and you get your entry from the 4 hours time frame or from the smaller time frames. But what I do is I get the direction of the market from the monthly, the weekly, and the daily, and then the 4 hours it's solely for entry, because I am a swing trader, and most times I like to allow my trade run for a couple of days, for weeks, and then make the most out of the opportunities, the trading opportunities I get from the market. So I'll be starting off with the monthly time frame, and let's see what's been happening here for the last couple of months in confluence with what has been happening previously, like some 34 years ago, and I'll use up all of those informations to decide on what trades we are to look out for. The market was rallying all the way to the downside, and then it came to a point, it paused, it stopped, and then made a retracement, and also it turned around back to the downside again, and then again just close to where it stopped the previous time. You can see price came back to that same point and then stopped a second time, forming a double bottom. And now we can gather that yes, there's something indeed that's restricting price from getting past this point. So there is a support at that point. Price went back to the upside again before eventually breaking through that support. And by now you should know that whenever a support is broken, the support turns into a resistance. So because at this purple rectangular area, price found support on 2 occasions, making a double bottom before eventually breaking through that support. What we would then be expecting from the monthly time frame is for price to pull back to make a retracement into this area to now find what a resistance. So we are expecting for price to come and retest this previous support broken and then find a resistance to head much further back to the downside. So this is the information we are gathering from the monthly time frame. So it's safe to say our bias from the monthly time frame is a buy retracement in the next couple of months, depending on whenever price gets to this purple rectangle zone. So we'll be expecting price to come to buy all the way to this purple rectangle zone and then retest. Because as much as possible, I want to have lots of confluence that will influence whatever decision I'm making. I would want to also take my Fibonacci tool, because that is one tool I make use of every now and then. Because previously I told us the Fibonacci tool helps us gather information on where and when the pullback is most likely going to end. When and where a pullback or your retracement is most likely going to end. So we saw price was rallying all the way to the downside from this point. So there was a swing high from this point and a swing low, and currently price is undergoing a retracement, a pullback. And once we want to find out or gather information on the pullback where it's most likely going to end, then we'll get the Fibonacci tool and we'll trace from the swing high to the swing low. So we get our Fibonacci tool from swing high to swing low, and then we would be expecting price to retrace into any one of the strong reversal Fibonacci levels. And by these I mean the 38.2, the 50, the 61.8, and the 78.6 Fibonacci reversal levels. Take note, guys, I would now want to consider the Fibonacci level. I would want to give much preference to the Fibonacci level that is aligning better with the market structure. What do I mean by that? We can clearly see that at this purple rectangular zone, price has found support previously on 2 occasions before eventually breaking through that support. So drawing my Fibonacci from swing high to swing low, I would want price to now retrace into this zone. And that's aligning well with the 38, in between the 38.2 and the 50 Fibonacci levels. So yes, this zone would be my take profit for every buy opportunity I'm considering in the next couple of weeks and months. So the information we have gathered from the monthly time frame is we are expecting price to now retrace into this purple rectangular zone. And then I will be going over to the weekly time frame to see what I can gather if it's in confluence with what I've figured out from the monthly time frame. Sorry guys, I don't know what's wrong with the internet over here. What seems to be the problem? I'm very sorry guys. I think the internet is okay. Sorry for that. I think the internet was a little bit slow. Okay, we are down now to the weekly time frame. We're done now to the weekly time frame, and we can now see price kind of making a head and shoulder pattern here in the weekly time frame, an inverse head and shoulder pattern rather, which is a buy or reversal signal, with price making the left shoulder, the head, and then again the right shoulder. Even though this is not our perfect kind of head and shoulder pattern, but once you can identify every one of these things, they help you build your evidences, because you want to consider that the more the number of evidences you have, the higher the chances the trade will go in your predicted direction. So from our weekly time frame, we can see price making or forming an inverse head and shoulder pattern, which is a buy or reversal pattern, very much still in confluence with what we gathered from the monthly time frame. And then now I will go over to the daily time frame. Because I can see clearly from the weekly time frame, we are very much still in confluence with the information we gathered from the monthly time frame. From the weekly time frame, let me say a little bit on market structure once again, even though I've said that in our previous videos. When we want to gather information on a downtrend, we want to see the market making series of lower highs and lower lows, and that's how we can identify a downtrend. We want to see the market making series of lower highs and lower lows. And let's see what has been happening from the daily time frame. We had a high here, and there is a new high that is lower than this previous high. We have a low, and we can see price made a new low that's lower than this low. You can see price has been making series of lower highs and lower lows, respecting the downtrend characteristics. then there is a lower low, and then there is a lower high. There is a lower high at this point, and then price came and made a new lower low. Let me take out this. And price now came and made a lower low and then a lower high. And for price to still be respecting the downtrend, we would have expected price to come and now make a new low that is lower than the most recent low. We would have expected price to come and make a lower low, but price did not do that. Price came and then what's wrong with this? Price came and then made a low that's not as low as the previous low. So price came and made a higher low. Price came and made a higher low. Price came and made a higher low. And what we can gather from this daily time frame, because this analysis was given some 2 days ago, and I'm trying to give a detailed explanation on why I gave the trade call some 2 days ago. Price, this was the most recent swing high, and then because price has now made a higher low, for price to invalidate the downtrend, we would be expecting price to come and make a new high which is higher than the previous high, and then indeed we can say that the structure of the market from the daily time frame has changed from bearish to a bullish environment. But before now, price has been finding some kind of a resistance here. So came up and then fell back to the downside, came again and then had a retest. So for some persons who could not enter the market right from this point, when price made a double bottom, which is a double W pattern from the daily time frame, we would have been waiting for a breakout of this resistance, for a 4 hours breakout of this resistance to enter a buy on this pair, because then it's clearly obvious that the sentiment of the market has changed from a bearish structure to a bullish structure. And then in confluence with the information we gathered from the monthly and the weekly time frame, you can now see that price is now trading above the previous daily resistance. Price has respected this resistance multiple number of times, 3 number of times, and now we can see price is trading above. And indeed, we want to consider the current daily candlestick to close above this point for a confirmation that indeed price will now continue moving all the way to our purple rectangular zone, which we got all the way back from our monthly time frame. So yes, this is why I gave this analysis. Also, there was something that happened. There's something that happened. Let me take out some of these things just so this does not look too clumsy. So we could see also confirming the breakout of the downtrend structure is this counter trend line. Is this counter trend line? We could see price had found a resistance multiple number of times, and then price broke through this counter trend line, and then we were waiting for now a breakout of this resistance, also confirming that price will indeed find movement all the way to the upside. So guys, I'm calling volatility 10 index a buy. I'm calling volatility 10 index a buy for the next couple of days and a week, depending on when price, how long it takes price to move from this point to our purple rectangular zone, which is our take profit. So we want to consider anywhere around this zone as our take profit, anywhere around 7572.738 and 7653.464 as our take profit. Please leave a comment if you understand my analysis so far, because this is how you should see the market. It's as simple as it is. Don't make it any more complex. You want to make sure the monthly, the weekly, and the daily time frame are very much in confluence, and gather whatever informations you get from these 30 time frames to make up your trading decision. Thank you guys. See you in my next video.